Hi, welcome to Manas Shield YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Chapter 2. A short-lived everyday life, Rimuru's portrait. While Gabbana was thanking me more than necessary, the receptionist called for Rimuru. With Gabbana and the receptionist bowing us off, we made our way to Rimur's office. It was a spacious room on the top floor, with plenty of sunlight and a great view. We sat down on the best sofas, and enjoyed the view, while quenching our thirst with the juice that had been prepared for us. Rimuru-sama, did something happen? No, nothing at all. Well, that's good, but perhaps Gabbana has done something rude. No, it's okay. I calmed down the worried Rimuru and casually changed the subject. More importantly, Rimuru-kun, I heard that you have a portrait of me in your room. What does that mean? I asked, keeping my gaze fixed on a point on the wall and maintaining my composure. Well, the painting seems to have been acquired on the black market. However, not only is the source unknown, but so is the identity of the artist. There was one with the appearance of a slime, so it must be the work of someone who knows Rimuru-sama, but even our intelligence network can't figure it out, so I guess they're pretty good. Wait a minute. I mean, isn't this pretty bad? So, you're saying Sao couldn't track him down, even if he investigated? I'm afraid so, yes. No way. Since it was during the war, we judged this case to be of low importance. That's why we couldn't arrange a large number of personnel. I see, that was one of the reasons. But still, it's weird to be used as a model for a painting by someone I don't know. It does bother me that even Sao and the others aren't sure who it is. Well, there's no use thinking about it. Then, we'll confiscate the painting. Yes, I tried to persuade Rimuru, who was surprised and displeased. Or rather, it was already decided. Why should I let you display my portrait? Absolutely not. No way. That's high-handed. I don't even think any tyrant, ancient or modern, would do such a thing. You're overreacting. I mean, why are you resisting so much? I'll pay you for the painting, so this is confiscated. I said as such, and collected the painting from the wall. After all, the painting had been so beautified that I felt it was no longer me. To put it simply, there was nothing but the image of Shizu-sen. Beauty and fragility were beautifully expressed. I was so excited about hanging Rimuru-sama's picture here. Sao patted the lamenting Rimuru on the shoulder. It can't be helped. Then I'll give this to Rimuru Dono as well. We will, that's. Rimuru was surprised. The moment we saw the picture, Rimuru and I had delicate expressions on our faces. It was a picture of a slime. Hey, good for you, Rimuru-kun. Take a look at that, and give it a try. No, that's not right. What can I say? Well, it is different. I don't think seeing me in slime form will get you fired up even 1 millimeter. That said, why does Sao have something like that? Yes. I confiscated it during our investigation. There were a few other items leaked as well, so we recovered them all. Just the slime porters. Yes. What's with the paws? No, actually, Diablo took one from me. What the hell, that bastard. I desperately resisted, but I was unable to do anything. I apologize. I see, I understand. I'll make sure to take it back from Diablo, and tell him not to bother you. Diablo is a problem. That bastard thinks too highly of me. The problem is that I can't completely deny my appearance, because it comes from Shizu-sen. That is why I can't allow him to keep in his possession a picture that I don't even know whose work it is. Sao smiled, as if he was relieved by my promise. Rimuru muttered, no, but then Sao Dono will still keep the painting. But that was probably an unnecessary worry. Sao is very popular, so you can rest assured, right? When I said that, Rimuru nodded with a delicate expression. We ended the conversation by agreeing to investigate the source of the paintings thoroughly. With only a few hours left until nightfall, we got down to business. I'm glad to hear that your plans are going well, but what are your plans for the future? That's the thing. I've been meaning to ask you about the current situation. Well, then shall I tell you? No, I've been getting flooded with inquiries about that. I've invited you to the party today and we'll have a meeting tomorrow. Oh. Impressive, Rimuru-kun. You've got it all planned out. Wahaha. Of course. We had been talking about the same thing over and over again, and I was getting bored. Thanks to Rimuru, we'd be able to do it all at once. In that case, I'll just get a report from Rimuru. The plan was going well. It seems that there was almost no one left to oppose the 3 drunk sages, Riega, as they took over underground organizations one by one. They had also gained the trust of the public, and now there was no end to the number of noblemen from various countries who wanted to join. That's wonderful. You're doing so well it's almost scary. Indeed, it is. In fact, Viryard Dono's skill is so great that he's been expanding his influence in ways I never thought possible. Frankly, he's better than I am. Don't worry. I remember when Viryard-san took one over me. No wonder Meyer Miles Khan thinks he's lost. I hate to admit it, but he's a monster. I felt like he was reading my thoughts, and leading me to wherever Viryard Dono wanted me to go. Perhaps he'd be a better representative than me, right? I don't know about that. I'm sure he's an excellent man, but whether or not he should be at the top of the organization is a different story. I don't think so. No, I'm not saying that because I'm good friends with Meyer Miles Khan, but because it's actually the boss's job to appreciate the hard work of his subordinates. When you're too good, it's hard to properly appreciate the achievements of others. I think I understand what Rimuru-sama is trying to say, but Meyer Miles was still unconvinced. In that case, I'd repeat it here. I could have laughed it off, but I thought it would be better to allay these fears in the early stages. People have individual differences, and naturally, their abilities vary, don't they? That's why bosses are expected to assign tasks to their subordinates according to their abilities. On the other hand, people who can work on their own tend to finish everything on their own without relying on others. So, when a person like that reaches the top, there's a pretty good chance he'll think he's the best, and the right one. It's what they call a one-man boss. They're certainly excellent, but some of them take the extreme view that their subordinates should be able to do their jobs, and that they are incompetent if they fail. Even if the failure is caused by the boss who imposed an unreasonable workload on the subordinate, the boss who thinks he is right may blame the subordinate for the failure. It's even worse if it's the president. There may be no one to point out the problem for fear of being fired, or even if there is, they may not listen to you. In this respect, I believe that Meyer Miles would be fine. Meyer Miles may be a bit of a one-man, but he is also humane, and has the capacity to accept the failures of his subordinates as his own. And in the case of Viryard, he is the type of person who discards incompetence. No, I was exaggerating. I don't mean that he is cold-blooded, or anything like that, but he is the type of person who only looks at the numbers, and does not give preferential treatment to people who are unnecessary to the organization. Such a top executive may contribute to the development of the organization, but that is not the kind of organization I am aiming for. I want the people who belong to the organization to experience the joy of being useful to others. With the Four Nations Trade Federation being set up so far, there is no need to rush to expand the organization. Even if it's slow, I want this to become a trustworthy organization, where one's fellow members can rely on one another. Rapid growth tends to create dropouts. That's probably what would happen if Viryard took the top position. I told Meyer Miles, politely. I see, so that was Rimuru-sama's idea. My fears may be unfounded. I don't mean to say that Viryard-san is a bad person, but I think he tends to put efficiency first, because he is capable. Well, I can't deny that. So, my role is to make it easier for the people under Viryard Dono to work, right? You're quick to guess. The top position can be a decoration, but it shouldn't be empty. If you can be a portable shrine that everyone feels good about carrying, most things will work out. This is not absolutely correct, because it is a case-by-case basis. But in this case, I was convinced that Meyer Miles was the right choice. In the first place, Meyer Miles was also the Minister of Finance in our country, so he should not work too hard as the representative of the Four Nations Trade Federation. He should just reign at the top, and assign tasks to his capable subordinates. And it seemed to me that Viryard was better suited to work for someone else than to be at the top himself. Therefore, I gave my seal of approval to Meyer Miles as a suitable representative, but upon hearing that, Meyer Miles started laughing. Wahaha. As expected of Rimuru-sama, so very humble. You idiot. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you. Even though I shouted, Meyer Miles kept laughing for a while. After listening to Meyer Miles' report, it was time for the party to start. We have invited noblemen from all over the world today, so Rimuru-sama will be the center of attention. There will be so many guests that you won't have time to take a break. What do you think? That's right, it's not good for me to be intimidating. Needless to say, it was a bad idea, and I also didn't want to be bothered. If that was the case, I shouldn't have joined the party in the first place, but today's party would include Gazel, Yaum, and King Drum of the Blooming Kingdom. If the representatives of the 4 countries is Meyer Miles, then they are the ones who are the big supporters. We can't afford not to show our faces. Shall I get rid of them myself? Sae said so, but with a straight face. My instincts told me it would be a bloody scourge if I left it to him. No, it's okay. With my brilliant interpersonal skills, I'll be able to handle it just fine. I see. I understand. Then, I'll be escorting Rimuru-sama from a short distance away. Yeah, do that. Okay, that's a relief. This time, violence was strictly forbidden since the group was full of high-ranking people. It doesn't have to be the bigwigs, but if it became an international issue, it wouldn't be just about us. My lord, I am here too, so do not worry. Ranga emerged from the shadows, asserting himself. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Love that guy. Ranga's gesture soothed me, and my tension was eased. Riding on that momentum, I went to the venue. The 9th floor, one floor below, has a large floor plan. It is designed to be used for various purposes, such as holding meetings with a large number of people, gathering the staff for events, and so on. And now, the space has been decorated and turned into a party venue with standing tables. By the way, the 8th floor is a cafeteria for the staff, where one can enjoy a meal while looking at the scenery. Coffee and tea are also available outside of mealtimes, so that business meetings and discussions can be held there. The food served at the party was, of course, prepared by our chefs. Assorted pickles, various soups, prosciutto, high-grade steaks, meatballs and roast beef, various pastas, takoyaki, yakisoba, okonomiyaki, curry and rice, hamburgers, There was no ramen, of course, but there was a lot of stuff on the menu that wouldn't normally be appropriate for a party. My Miles-kun. What is it? Isn't this a weird choice of food? Is that so? This is the most popular menu from the Monster Kingdom's cafeteria. Well yeah, it is, but, no, calm down. Perhaps we should have made the menu more aristocratic, but there is no need to be bound by convention, right? As long as we have the spirit to bring about a new wind, these menus may be the right choice. In the first place, we offered unusual cuisine at the founding festival. Rather, some people seem to be expecting this. I see, no problem then. Well, I won't complain, even if there is a problem. I like your roughness, Miles-kun. I regretted that I was overthinking things, and looked around again to see if there were any other problems. Then my eyes met with the man who was in charge of setting up the venue. It was Vuryard. Well, your Majesty Rimuru. Oh, yes, in my current position, would it be acceptable if I called you Rimuru-sama? He greeted me with a smiling face, and I nodded my head. There was nothing wrong with it, but I had bitter memories of Vuryard's smile, so I couldn't help but be overly cautious. This is really no laughing matter for Miles. However, I think the Bloomin' Kingdom was more unusual, in that it flexibly changed the national system itself. It would normally be unthinkable in the real-life world, and even if it were an absolute monarchy, it would be a dream to achieve it without bloodshed. The fact that King Drum accomplished it showed me that he was no ordinary person. He was a genuine gambler, using his own country as a chip. To be honest, I don't have such courage, so I can only respect him. As King Drum's sword, Vuryard was not to be underestimated. Today's arrangements seem to be very careful and thorough, and I feel comfortable in trusting them to Vuryard Dono. Please continue to support Miles. Of course. Also, please just call me Vuryard. My father is the patriarch of my family, which used to be the Marquis family, but I plan to throw it away without inheriting it. Is that so? No, the status of the nobility will be shaken in the future, but that's only for the lower nobility. The count's status is doubtful, but I think the higher nobility of the Marquis family and above will be safe, no matter what the situation is. Well, it is certain that we will change our name from aristocrats to noblemen and eventually lose power. After all, I'm the one who proposed this to the Drum King. So it's you. I should be commended for swallowing those words. What, it's just the way of the times. Right now, the aristocracy is running the government, but if the people get wise, they will be dissatisfied with the current situation. We need to gradually transfer the authority to them, so that when that happens, they won't be hostile. That's true, but if you've never been in politics before, you can't run a country all of a sudden. I replied, and Vuryard smirked. That's why I'm going to become a commoner now, and accept the authority that will be transferred to me. Oh, you mean, it's not cheating, it's a race. But I understand it's very logical. That strategy would certainly minimize complaints from the aristocracy. But really, just how far ahead is this guy moving? As far as I can tell, he's as smart as anyone else. So much so that I'm afraid to call him out. Miles was also shaking his head, as if stunned. I told you so, didn't I? His eyes seemed to tell me, and I nodded my head in agreement. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.